All right, so I will start with the ones that you want to go over first. So which ones do you want to go over first? Number 1? All right. Looking at number 1. So it says a line passes through the points -4, 8, and -9, -4. What is the slope of line L? What do you have to do to find the slope? So you have to do the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this is my x2, y2, x1, y1. So I'm going to do -4 minus 8, and I'm going to do -9 minus the -4. This is keep, change, change. So what do you get when you do -4 minus 8? Ariana?
-12.
-12. And then what do you get when you do -9 plus 4? Ariana? -5. So this becomes what? And this is what was throwing some of you guys off the other day. Was it yesterday, I think, actually. When you were doing your task. Oh, God, yes. Candy, I owe you guys. No. The people who actually tried. Kit Kat. Oh no, you can't eat it yet. I gotta take a picture of the winners. We had a.
Audrey's was White Hershey.
Audrey's was White Hershey?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on, don't eat it yet. You had regular Hershey. And Richard. Go sit down. Get away from me. Alright, come here. Okay. Oh wait, come over here. Stand over here real quick. Over there, so I can get a picture of it. And someone's got to be Audrey real quick. Here, come be Audrey. Because 2 groups won. I got 2 groups. They were the only groups that actually tried. So like, hold your candy up.
I want to be in front.
Oh my Lord. Jesus, children. Hold your... Boy, I will take all of those and eat them right from you. And you better thank Drake because he picked out the biggest bag there was. Alright. Alright, Richard, make sure that you complete the study guide. Yes, you can eat it now. Will you see her before? Yeah. Alright, so, Jeffrey, when you have -12 divided by -5, what do you end up with? No, we do not end up with -12, -5. You have 2 negatives. What happens? Anthony? Yes, so this becomes 12 over 5. All right, number 2. Or, sorry, what's another one you guys would like to go over? Ariana? Number 5.
It's all the ones where you have to find the y.
Yeah, that's
So then you need to, so tonight, if it's every one that you have to use the slope formula, that's what you need to study tonight. You need to study the slope formula. So it says if this relationship is described by an equation of the form y equals mx plus b, what is the value of b? So what do you have to do? Like, you have to use this format. You have to solve using that format. So how do we figure out how to do that? Two people know? Ooh, we in trouble. What do you think, Nevaeh?
You have to find where like x equals 0 and then y, the number that you get with y.
Okay, so you have to find x equals 0, but you have to do the whole, like, you have nothing. The only thing we have right now is this. We have to find the slope. So how do we find the slope? Start with that. How do you find the slope using a table? There's 2 ways that I have taught you. What's one of them?
You have to like see how much they're going up by.
Right, so I mean, you can do it this way. This is the easy way. Remember I taught you guys? So how do I go from -2 to -4? What do I do? Jasmine?
+2.
Are you sure it's +2?
-2.
-2. And you have to make sure that it's the same all the way down. That is called the rate of change or your slope. And then same thing on this side. So this is plus 1, this is plus 1. So my slope, m equals what? 2 over 1, right? Negative 2 over 1, which becomes what? Negative 2. So for my equation that I'm writing, I just found my slope. So I'm going to do y equals negative 2x. Now I have to figure out where does my line pass my y-intercept. How do I do that?
No idea.
You don't have any idea.
I don't remember. I don't know. You didn't teach it to me. It's gone, but I graphed it and found the answer.
So you can graph it. Will you be able to have graph paper tomorrow? Absolutely. If you're like, hey, Miss Kenny, gonna get a piece of graph paper, I'll be like, absolutely. All right. What if you don't have graph paper? What is another way? What do you think?
Don't you like do the opposite of like what you did? So plus 1, you like subtract 1, and then minus 2, you like add 2.
So you can do that. So remember Cam that one day was telling me all kinds of craziness, but he knew that we had to go backwards. So you can do it that way. Any other way? Can you pick a point and plug it in?
That's what I did.
So can I do negative 2 equals, what is it? Negative 2 times 1?
Which is just negative 2.
It's just negative 2. So my y is negative 2, right? So I'm using this formula, and I plugged in, so y is negative 2 equals, what is my slope? Negative 2 times 1. 1 is my x. If that equals, what do you know?
What's your y?
Huh?
That's your y-intercept.
It's your y-intercept, but what is your y-intercept? What is it going to be? 0. It's going to be 0 because you're not adding anything to it. Oh my God, you were right. What? No way.
But I was not getting a bunch of
All right, you guys, honestly, stop. You're thinking too hard. Like, it's really, you know how to do everything on this test. We literally have spent 30 days figuring this out. So let's say that you don't understand what I just said. Let's do it, we're going to call it the Cam way. So instead of doing minus 2, I have to get what to 0?
Add 2.
No. Which one do I have to get to 0? X or Y?
X.
My x. So I'm going to go here. So this is going to be minus 1. My next x is going to be a 0. Then I have to go this way. I have to do plus 2 because I'm doing minus 2. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I'm going to do plus 2. My y equals what?
0.
0. So my slope is what? Or sorry, my b is going to be what?
0.
So when I write this, that technically is my answer. Or if you want to write it as y equals negative 2x plus 0, it's the same thing. But you're not going to see it written as plus 0. Guys, I have taught you so many tricks and ways, and you just have to apply them. Like, I'm not asking you to be, like, if you don't understand it, don't do it this way. If you understand the table way, do it the table way. Does that make sense? That's why I taught you so many different ways. Because sometimes it just works. Sometimes the Cam way works. Sometimes it's just easier to move up and down a table instead of trying to plug in all this information. All right, what's another one? What's another one? Number 3? All right, so number 3. The easiest way to solve this one is to plot the points, but obviously you don't have a graph. If you drew a graph, then you were able to plot the points. What is another way that you can figure out which one of these is a linear function? You can use the slope formula, all right? And then when you find the slope formula, what do you have to figure out from there? Because we can find the slope formula on all of these, right? But what do we have to then figure out? Does the table follow the slope formula? So like this one, if we do, like how do I go from negative 1 to positive 1? Plus 2. So then I go from 1 to 3, what do I do? Plus 2. And then from 3 to 5? plus 2. All right, so that's probably going to be the one that works. Let's look at this one. So how do I go from negative 5 to negative 3? How do I go from negative 3 to positive 2?
Plus 5.
So this one is gone. Does everybody understand why?
Yes.
Is there anybody who doesn't understand why? Promise. Bash, if you're going to sleep, sleep outside of my classroom. I'm just going to let Coach Mo know that you can't play today because you are so tired and exhausted. You better pick your head up. We are reviewing for a test. So do we understand why that one is gone? Y'all promise? All right, looking at C. How do I go from negative 5 to positive or negative 3? Plus 2. How do I go from negative 3 to negative 1?
Plus 2.
How do I go from negative 1 to 1? Okay, so this one might work. So right now we have two options. Now what do I check?
Your x.
I'm going to check my x. So from here, from negative 1 to 2, what do I do?
Plus 3.
From negative 2 to 5, what do I do?
Plus 3.
And from 5 to 8, what do I do?
Plus 3.
Okay, so this one is a pretty good contender. So that might actually be the one we might have to go back here and check. Okay? All right, this one. How do I go from 7 to 4?
Minus 3.
How do I go from 4 to 1?
Minus 3.
How do I go from 1 to negative 2? Minus 3. How do I go from 1 or negative 1 to 1?
Plus 2.
Plus what?
Plus
2.
2.
How do I go from 1 to 4?
Plus 3.
So this one is gone. So right now we are stuck between A and C. How do we know which one it is? So from here to here is plus 2. From here to here is plus 2. And from here to here is plus 3. So which one is correct?
C.
C. Now, this might be a hard way. This might be an easy way for you. You can also do the y2 minus y1, the x2 minus whatever. All right, what's another one you want to go over? Number 2? All right, so you are going to have a question where you have to put your different representations in order from least to greatest. Make sure you put them in order from least to greatest. So you have to find the slope of each one. This one's easy. What's my slope here? 2/3. I just totally had a brain fart. Slope equals 2/3. All right. So here I'm going to find two good points. This is half. And then here I have to figure out negative 2. All right, so which one is the smallest?
Negative 2.
Negative 2, so this would be my first one. Which one is the next smallest? 1/2. And which one is the third smallest? 2/3. So again, you're going to have a question that's similar to that one. You have 3 different representations. You have to find, you have to find them and put them in order. All right. What other questions?
Number 8.
These are the easiest questions, and the reason they're the easiest questions is because you have the equation, the formula that we follow, right? And we are looking for the one that does not represent. You're looking at y equals mx plus b, right? So stand up if you say it is the first one. So that one follows all the rules of that formula? Stand up if you said it was the second one. Stand up if you said it was the third one. Stand up if you said it was the last one. I'm right. Why? Why am I right? Why am I right? Where's the x?
The third one is on the top.
The third one, the x is on the top. We're not dividing. Remember, you cannot divide by x. So the correct answer for this one is that, oh, don't, sit down. Sit.
I had a
No, you did not. Let me guess, you were stretching your back again.
I mixed it up because I
Those
thought.
kids are rise over running.
Yes. No. You've been sleeping the whole time. You're good. You need to listen to everything that I can give you right now. So remember, when you are picking out which one doesn't represent, you cannot, the X cannot be on the bottom. It cannot be the denominator. Your X cannot be the denominator, no matter what. You can divide by X, but it cannot be in the bottom. Does that make sense to you guys? So make that note, whatever you got to say, however you want to say it. All right, let's look at, I'm sorry, what other ones do you want to go over? Who?
Number 7.
Number 7? All right, so number 7 says, which equation is the same slope as the function in the table? So what is our slope for the table? Jeffrey?
5/2.
So slope for this one equals 5/2. So which one has 5/2 as the slope? That's your answer.
I have to find the
It's not rocket science, y'all.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
You're not stupid. Y'all just are trying to make it too hard. It's not hard.
I didn't realize this segment.
Who misconnected me? What? All right, what is another one? You're welcome.
10.
Who? 10. So you guys are going to have a couple of these questions where you're going to have to write the equation looking at the graph. Remember, our equation is y equals mx plus b. What is the b representing? This is your y-intercept. Raise your hand and tell me, how do you find your y-intercept? Soraya.
Based off where the line goes through the y-axis.
Right, so it's wherever your slope goes through your y-axis. So on this one, your slope goes through at 2. So I know that this is going to be plus 2 at the end. And then I have my y up front. And what? How do I find my m, or my slope? Kira?
It's rise over run.
Rise over run. So I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to go to here. So I'm going to go down 4/1. So this is -4, 1, which gives me -4x, and that is my equation. Again, please make sure you're getting this information down so that you have something to study.
This is the extra credit.
Your study guide? Always. But it's got to be completed. Can't just be what we did in class. Let's go to number 9. Sorry. What other ones do you guys want to do?
12.
Okay. Number 12. Remember all the ones that y'all hated because you're like, Miss Kenny, this is stupid. We don't understand. Where I gave you a word problem and you had to write the equation. This is why we did this. So this says a parking garage charges a flat rate for the first hour plus $3.25. Okay, that's going to be important for each additional hour of parking. So it costs $9 to park in the garage for 3 hours. Which linear equation models the total cost y of parking in the garage for x hours? So you have to figure out which one of these is going to work. Which one, are there any that I can get rid of?
A.
Why can I get rid of A? You're right. Why can I get rid of it?
She doesn't have the y-intercept.
Because we know we're going to be adding something to it, right? Because it talks about a flat rate. Do we know what our flat rate is? No. So that's what we have to figure out. So we know how much it is for 1 hour. It's $3.25. We know how much it was for 3 hours. So what can we do with the $3.25 and the 3 hours? Add them together. So add which ones?
925.
So you're going to add $3.25 together. Why? What does the $3.25 represent? 1 hour. So I'm adding, because remember, I'm trying to find out how much for 1 hour, right? So This is 1 hour. This is 1 hour. But I have that flat rate that I don't know what it is. So I'm going to add these two together, and I'm going to get 650. Make sure my math is right. So it's going to be she did this wrong. So it's going to be 650. So then what do I do with my 650 and my 925?
Subtract it.
Yes. So 925 minus 650. Y'all do the math. And then you tell me. Do the math on your paper, and then you tell me.
2.75.
I'm sorry, do the math on your paper. All right, Kira, what do you get?
275.
So you get 275. So essentially, and this is where your study guide is wrong. We need to change that to a 2. But your answer for this one is y equals 325 times the number of hours plus the flat rate of 275. Okay, so technically C is the correct answer. We just had a typo. But that's, again, it's not that hard. You just have to stop and think about what the question is asking you. Any other questions?
I have a question about this one. Why are you adding 325 together?
Because we know the amount for 1 hour. We know the total for the 3 hours, but we don't know what the flat rate is. Because remember, it says charges a flat rate for the first hour plus the $3.25 for every hour after. So we have to figure out what the flat rate is over here. But yeah, they give you the $10.25 because they're hoping that you add it together and get the wrong answer. Okay? Good question. All right, go to number 9. So number 9 says both the equation y equals 2x plus 3 and the graph are linear functions. So these are both correct. So this one and this one are both correct. You're looking for which statement is true. So A says the slopes are the same for both representations. You're saying no, Nico? Why?
I graphed it, and one is 2.
Okay.
And one is 1 over 2.
So the slope for the graph is half, and then the slope for the equation is 2. Okay, so we know that A is not correct. All right, B, it says the slope for the equation is steeper than the graph. What do you guys think? Why? Why are you guys saying yes? Jeffrey?
Because if it's 3, it'll kind of tilt up higher than 4.
Say that one more time.
So if it's 3, it'll tilt up higher because 4 is more than 3.
I think your reasoning is backwards. Because we're looking at the slope. But you're right. Like, so you're saying that your reasoning. So we're looking at slope. So we're looking at 2 and half.
I did it wrong.
But do you know why that this one is correct? Because, like, remember. So right now, the slope for the line, for this line is half. So it goes up 1 over 2. The slope for the equation is what?
2.
It's 2, so it goes up 2 over 1. So which one is more steep? Up 2 over 1 or up 1 over 2? Up 2 over 1. So then you know that actually the correct answer for this one is going to be B. You do want to read through the other two just to make sure. The y-intercepts are the same in both representations. Is that true? No. The y-intercept on the graph is lower than the y-intercept in the equation. Is that true?
No.
Crickets. Okay. All right, number 11. Since you guys like the y-intercept formula, slope formula. A linear function passes through the points 3, -1, and -612. Write the equation of the line. So what is your equation? How many of you guys did this? Okay, stand up if you did this. If you did not do this, you need to do it now. Do number 11. Do number 11. But you didn't write the equation.
Oh,
So you gotta write the equation. You gotta write the, whoa, good catch though. Alright. No, because you slept through my entire class, you shouldn't have a headache now. Well, you been asleep? You can call, you have your phone. Go ahead. No. Well, first of all, you shouldn't have peed so much in the bathroom. I mean, you were in there for a good 10
I
minutes.
wasn't in there.
Anthony
It
came
was-
home
it was
in 7
Anthony.
minutes. Jeffrey was like 84 minutes late. I'm surprised you even in class.
You were behind me, I was
So
behind
if
him.
you weren't peeing so much in the bathroom.
it was
You
really
said when-
Cam.
it
It
wasn't
was
when I
really
had
Cam
time.
that held us up.
Cam was in there part about his butt.
Ah,
It's all y'all do.
Why do I gotta put stuff on
Exactly.
him? I'm the only
Always
one
do
who can
that.
give Cam a hard time.
It's all
Right,
y'all
Cam?
do. Yes, yes. It's all y'all do.
Hey,
That's not,
Cam,
that's not
just
enough
for the
equation.
equation, I'll give you.
Because you have to have y equals mx plus b. So it's gotta be in that format.
11 over -9x.
You're writing the equation. It says write the equation of the line. So if you only have the slope, you did not do this one correctly.
Yeah,
Why did that?
I'm just missing the y.
You did or you touched it?
I did.
I don't know how to find the y.
I did this better.
That's plus 13.
Oh, that makes sense now.
It's not a negative.
Wait, back up.
So your slope, I will let you know, is 13 over 9 or something like that.
Oh my goodness, I'm the smartest in the world.
But that's not your answer. Because it's not the equation.
I'm so confused.
No, you're not. All right. What do you have to start with in order to find your slope?
Y equals 13.
Y2 minus Y1.
Y2 minus Y1.
Oh,
So, you're going to do that, Y2 minus Y1, Y whatever. And you end up with negative 13 over, what, negative 9?
Negative 13 over 9.
Negative 13.
it's
No,
positive.
I got positive.
positive 13. I know there's too many positive 13. So, you end up with negative 13 over 9. You can't have one part of it be positive, one part of it be negative. It can't. All right. Now, I'm trying to essentially write this as a equation. I know my slope is negative 13 over 9 x. I have to now find out my y-intercept. How do I do that? How do we do it on the other question earlier? We use the table. We use the table, but obviously we don't have a table, but do we have a point that we can plug in?
We can make it.
Can we make a table?
You don't need to make a table.
No.
So pick this point right here, and I want you to plug it in. So this is x, this is y. So I'm going to plug in, and I'm going to say, well, negative 1, because this is my y, equals negative 13 over 9 times 3. Why are y'all looking at me like I'm insane?
I've been doing that.
Oh, this is.
Did I not just take y equals mx plus, and I don't know what my b is. My b is technically what I'm solving for. And I simply took an x and a y value and I plugged them in. I have to solve for this. I have to solve to make sure that this equals negative 1. That's all. What do? You just solve it. So you ultimately do negative, if you don't stop, Sebastian. So this becomes negative 1 equals negative 39 over 9 Again, I'm not doing anything that y'all have never seen. We are simply multiplying fractions. So stop giving me these crazy looking faces and just write it down and follow along. You are going to have a problem on the test tomorrow that is going to be like this. Can we leave it as negative 39 over 9?
No.
No. So we're going to simplify it by what?
3.
By 3, which ultimately is going to take me back to what?
Negative 13 over 9.
Not 13 over 9, but 13 over 3. So how do I make negative 13 over 3 equal negative 1? So what fraction does this become? No. What's my denominator?
Oh.
Because remember, when you're adding and subtracting fractions, this is why I keep putting this on Delta Math for y'all. When you're adding and subtracting fractions, what does your denominator have to be? The same. Well, that's why you don't ever do it. So, no comment. How do we get negative 13 over 3 to equal negative 3 over 3? You can. If I subtract 10 thirds, what do I end up with? Negative 3 over 3, which equals negative 1. It's not confusing. It's not hard. What makes it hard is because you're like, brain off, this is too hard because there's a fraction. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I would star number 11 and I would look over it a few times because honestly, you're going to see a question almost identical to this tomorrow. Yeah, the Miss Scarpin still does the videos and I still post that. So, I mean, I'm going to post this video also, but she goes in and explains like why and what and everything. Yeah?
Would you please been back to the office for a moment?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What about 13? Do we want to go over 13 or we feel good with 13 questions?
Can we go over it? Yes, please.
Raise your hand if you want to go over number 13. Okay. What about number 14? You want to go over it? Okay. So number 14 says the graph on the coordinate grid below shows a linear function that represents the cost per day for renting a car based on the number of miles traveled. So this was like the he said, she said activity. So think about that activity. It says, what is the meaning of the initial value for the function? So think of it as the y equals mx plus b type of situation. How are we increasing? Because we have to make sure that we're looking at the right number. So how are we increasing, Jeffrey?
By 10.
Okay, so we're going up by 10. And then how are we increasing this way?
By 100.
By 100. So that's going to be important. All right. Then what is my y-intercept? What's my y-intercept?
20.
Not just 20, but look at the information.
$20.
$20. So this is going to be $20. All right. And then what is my slope? What's my slope? So you go up 1 over 2.
Do I come in here
What did you need to come in here for?
to count the
Yes.
So do I just stay here or?
If you wait outside, I will call everybody in like 2 minutes. Yep. You're welcome. Yes.
I did this one. Can we go to 16?
Huh?
Can we go to 16 after this?
16 after this one? Yeah. Yeah. All right, so you guys said that we go up 1 over 2, right? But is it 1 and 2? Is our slope 1 and 2? No, what is our slope actually? 10 over, is it 200 or over 100. So this actually becomes what? 1 over 10. Okay? All right, so with all this information, it says it means the car rental has a base cost of $10 per day. Could possibly be. It means the car rental costs $10 per 100 miles traveled. You said no? Why not? So say that again, Nevaeh. She said because it's 1 over 10, not 1 over 100. Okay? Huh? No, you didn't. All right. See, it says it means the car rental has a base cost of $20 per day.
Well, yeah, but it's not per day
It's not per day?
because there's 10 videos.
Okay. Listen. Y'all need to listen to the conversations that are being had, because the fact that only one person kind of sort of maybe knows is a little bit of a problem. It means the car rental costs $20 per miles traveled. So which ones do you want to get rid of and say like absolutely no way? Nevaeh, what'd you say about this one?
There's 10 beneath it, so it can't be per day.
So you're saying that's absolutely not even remotely close to being an option.
Yeah, D is wrong.
D is wrong also?
Yeah.
All right, so now we're not stuck, but we're between. It means the car rental has a base cost of $10 per day, or it means the car rental costs $10 per 100 miles. Which one?
It's 10. No, it's A.
So stand up if you said A.
It's A.
Stand up if you said B. Can't be both.
Explain A.
Huh?
Explain A.
That's what A is like. It can't be.
Why can't? Okay, so Nevaeh, I want you to explain A, and then Anthony, I want you to explain B, and then we'll redo it.
Because it says per day and it's 1 over 10, so it can't go like it can't go below 10. Like it's 1 over 10. Can't go below. Like, yeah.
Okay.
I said, my turn? Okay, so. Right here, if you look at where the point is, it says it's $30 per 100.
It says it's what?
It says it's $30 per 100 miles.
$30 per 100 miles.
Yes, that's where it meets the point.
Oh. The point where
And that's what I'm saying, it can't be B.
Like the perfect point is on
Okay. Cam?
So like, right?
It's A.
So if the car rental goes up $10 per 100 miles, it goes up by 10 every time that it hits 100 miles.
No.
I mean, might not necessarily be the right one, but I like your explanation the best. I mean, it makes the most sense.
Wait, I think it's A because like 1 is like per, so it's 1.
I think it's A because they go up like, on the side by 10. And that's what we did at first.
Cam, say it nice and loud for the ones in the back. Say it again.
That's exactly what I just said.
That's exactly what Cam just said.
So
But it
it's A
says
because
per
A is last.
day.
It's A.
But at the end it says per day.
Do I get extra credit?
No.
I said A.
All right.
So-
You want to have you guys done number 16?
I did.
All right, do number 16 real quick, and then we'll go over.
You said B was no. No, it's not.
Just says what is the value of the y coordinate where the line crosses the y-axis. So, do you have information on that graph? Oh yeah. Find this information. Let's try it. Then I don't know how you're gonna wrestle today.
Don't put coordinate.
I don't know. I don't know why there are 84 children. Y'all are entirely too close to me. A little weird. If you are my third period and you're here because you're working on your test, come here. Have your paper. Shanna, here's your paper. You can just sit at the back
excuse me. Can I get a drink?
Kayla, did Kayla come in? Where's Kayla? That's right. No. Guys, you need to be doing something, and you've got to get out of the way because I'm still going over this. So stand up when you are done or you have your answer that you actually tried.
Can I work on my sesame test?
Yeah, let me get in there and resume it. Did you submit it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me resume it then. Guys, I am still teaching. Sit down, 6th grade.
Just kidding. You know where Connor is?
No, I don't even know who Connor is. Did you try it, Anthony?
Yeah, I got 20.
You got what?
20.
There's no way you got 20.
It has to be 240.
Thank you.
What?
You have to do.
It's the y-intercept?
You have to do. You're not finding.
I'm actually looking
Find it here. This doesn't make no sense.
It makes perfect sense. It really does.
It gave me a $3.
Then you don't know what you're doing. Dear Lord, save us all.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Even the keep standing up.
Hold on, Reagan. I'm getting there. Wherever Reagan
I
went.
did a chart and then I did the thing where we subtracted.
Okay, it's resumed, Reagan. All right, so you have to do what?
Put it in the chat.
You have to do this. Right?
Why do you have to do that?
Jeffrey, all of a sudden you said, what? Why'd you sit down? Because I do it, well, let me first say, you don't have to do this. This is just one way that you could possibly solve this problem. All right, Jeffrey, what was your answer?
3/4. Like, I didn't do that.
So close. You were so close.
Like, I didn't do the slope formula, but I got 3/4.
Let me see what you did.
I kind of just went down like this, and I subtracted 4 from this and subtracted.
Oh, I mean, you just used common knowledge. Like,
Answer.
did you hear what he just said? He just simply subtracted.
That's what I did.
Neve, what'd you get?
210 over there.
Nope, that's close too. Anybody else get something other than 2/3 or 3/4?
I got 2.
What'd you get? So if you plug this in, this is gonna be my x1, my y1. This is gonna be my x2, my y2.
Oh, I did it backwards.
It's okay, and you'll see. So when you do, what's this? 12 minus 16, and then this becomes 15 minus 9. This becomes -3/4.
Wait, isn't it 9 minus 15? Yeah. Because you did x1.
Oh, sorry. This should be
Wait, why
9
did you do
minus 15. Sorry. Which becomes a positive 3/4. Did I do that wrong?
That's exactly what I
Isn't that what Jeffrey said?
Yes, Jeffrey, you're right. I'm sorry. My bad. Why? Because you're too lazy to just simply put the numbers in. That's all I did. That's literally all I did.
Why did it like
I just simply put in the numbers. That's all.
All I did was draw
Yes.
the lines inside of the graph.
Yeah, that's right. Then you got 6, 8, then you got 3/4.
Yeah.
All I did was draw the lines inside of the graph. I got 3/4.
And you got 4?
I got 3/4.
3/4. So you just drew lines.
Yes.
Okay. Again, I'm not saying that y'all are wrong. Like, what?
I was confused on how it was worded. Why is it worded?
I'm confused as to why you're still standing. Don't overthink it. Like, just you guys like to make things super difficult. It's not. Like, don't make it difficult. Jeffrey, you're right. I apologize. That's my fault. All right. Please look at the study guide on Canvas tonight. If you need more explanation, Ms. Carpin's video is going to be on there. Also, understand you're going to need to, number 19 and number 18, you're going to need to know those two questions as well. You are going to see something like that. Okay? All right, 8th grade, you can go ahead, pack up.